emotions.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Come on in here this morning. How are you on this Wednesday morning? Who's in the house? I want to know who's already in here. Robert Holman, grand risings to you. Shirley Nicholson, good morning to you. Deborah Johnson, what's up? Regina Shorts, what's happening, sister? You know, I learned that you can set the intro to go right in as soon as you go live. So I thought I'd try out that feature. I'm trying to decide, did I like that or not? But I think it was, gives me something less to do. So I just wanted to know. So what was that like on your end when it went straight there and not the placeholder first? I see you, Adrian. Good morning to you. Jackie, good morning. Dr. Antoinette, good morning. We got a lot to talk about, sister. Rodessa, we've been missing you. Good morning to you as well. So let me know, those of you who are already in here, because some of y'all show up quite early, let me know. I let the intro automatically play when we went live. So was that good? Or do y'all like the pause first? Let me get some feedback on that. Good morning to all of our audio listeners as well. Good morning to you. A lot to talk about. But before I do that, I used to get into the green room early to strategize with Isaiah and then to pray. So I have that schedule etched in my head. So here's my other question I want to ask all of you. How would you feel about a before the show, just in here chatting for a moment, or is that not necessary? Because I'm literally at the desk by 7:15. Kim Edmondson, good morning, girl. I thought about you last night and busted out laughing, Kim. As I was watching the debate, I said, I know Kim done signed off a long time ago. It was boring, okay? But I did think about you, Kim. I laughed. I said, Kim Edmondson's like, no, I ain't watching this. This is over. So, good morning to all of you. So please answer that question for me, y'all. All right, y'all, it is Wednesday, October the 2nd, 2024. I am your host, Gail Dudley. If this is your first time ever hanging out with us, we have fun. We've been doing this for 4 years now. It's launched June 2020. And it wasn't because of the pandemic, but it gave us something to do. But it was something that I had my eye on for a while and had been going in and out with it for a while. But anyway, Tracy knew me. Good morning. She said it was boring. Kim Edmondson said over and out. I knew that. I said at one point, Kim is done with this. Shardinia, good morning to you. So that's who I am. That's what I do, y'all. We are hanging out. I'm taking us all the way to the elections. But I quickly learned yesterday, girl, you like this way too much, digging into this kind of news. So how am I going to roll into where we're headed and what we're planning? Y'all, today is Wednesday workshop, but we have some headlines first before we get to Wednesday workshop. All right, y'all, this vice presidential debate recap. It was interesting. All right, y'all. The debate, which was moderated by CBS Nora O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan, they held their own. Okay, they held their own. I was getting mad at the moderators. I'll be honest. Like, cut his mic off. Y'all said 2 minutes. Keep it at 2 minutes. Why do we have this ongoing? And then when they finally muted his mic, I thought about Beyonce's song, "Everybody on Mute." And they were like, the audience can't hear you. Yes, we really could hear them. But I was over it. Dr. Antoinette said, confession. I didn't watch the debate. Walls could have read Dr. Seuss and rap Schoolhouse Rock, and it wouldn't have altered my vote. Regina said she fell asleep. Listen, at this point, it's not even about them. Okay, so they did a debate. Now, I want to say this. Let me start by saying, J.D. Vance, well, he's a Yale graduate, is a very good debater. He came to debate, okay? He's slick and he lied a lot. But no doubt, he's a very good debater. He's an excellent debater, if I can put it that way. So I'm giving him that credit. But with that, if you were not in the know with what's happening, I see you, Mary, and I see you, Judy. If you're not in the know, you would think that he was just being so genuine and so authentic, and everything he says just sounded so glorious. But the dude lied. He lied more than he didn't. Okay, I think the only thing he didn't lie about, maybe two things. I think the only thing he didn't lie, two things he didn't lie about, was that he has three beautiful children. He was hoping they were in bed. That was one of his response. And that he has a lovely wife. Those are probably the two things he didn't lie about. Everything else he lied. He just lied. Deborah says he's definitely he's a great, he really is an excellent debater. Good morning, Rosanna. Yes, Tracy Newman, he lied. He lied like a rug. Isn't that how they say it? So let's go through some of this. Now, and also Tim Walz held his own. Tim Walz is not a debater, okay? And one thing that I that I really hope that campaigns and legislators and speech writers and whomever allow people to be who they are. Just allow people to be who they are. When you are nervous and you're working through things, and I do this when I'm preaching at times, I will call Peter Paul. But it hits me, it's like, wait. You know, and there's a way you have to come back and say, no, Paul, I'm talking about Peter, not Paul. Those things happen. So Tim Walz was doing that. They were expecting him to do that. So this morning, all the commentators are pouncing on that. But Tim Walz was trying to be somebody he was not in the first half of that debate. But when he came back after that commercial break, I said, there he is, boom. Be the nice teacher coach guy who's the governor, who's a two-term governor, who's rocking it, who's been in Congress, and who knows what the heck he's talking about. Be that guy. Because when he became that guy and put down that paper and pen, he was on it. He was on it. And he did say that he misspoke about the Hong Kong thing. But, okay. Like even yesterday, and I thought this is nowhere close. Yesterday when I was talking about the postcards and I held up Sherrod Brown, I was actually thinking of the Fairfield guy. I was like, oh, he's not mine. I was like, oh, yeah, he is mine. Those things happen. And if you are human, you know those things happen. Deborah said he can definitely lie well. He can definitely lie well. Lori Williams-Wallace, good morning to you. Cheryl Owens, good morning to you. So Tim Walz held his own, okay? Now, I don't know who J.D. Vance think he is, trying to force Governor Walz to respond to him. There was control issues with J.D. Vance that made my skin crawl. Okay, there was manipulative things that J.D. Vance was doing, even to the moderators. He wanted them to know that he was the man, but they let him know, we're going to shut your mic. And that look, he was like, oh, no, you didn't. Well, no, they did. And then what really got me, he was lying so much it was scary, y'all. And it's crazy because, you know, the rules were, in the GOP, they did not like how they fact-checked Donald Trump on the debate stage. So the GOP, y'all moderators, you're not fact-checking us. And when they did fact-check J.D. Vance, he said, and I quote, y'all not supposed to be fact-checking me. That's because you lying. So even you showed your hand when you said that. And I don't know how many people caught that, but he was mad. Like, the rules say you're not supposed to fact-check me, because he knew he was lying. And he was hoping that parameter was in place, that he would not get fact-checked. Dr. Antoinette says Vance corrected them on the rules about fact-checking him. Why have an open lying festival? There's what I'm talking about. Listen. So we were on the same page there. Deborah Johnson said he may have misspoke, but he was there. Yes, he was there in Hong Kong. It's like real crazy. And I'm like, why are we still on this? Even the military said he was there. So I'm missing something there. Adrian said he's creepy. Yeah, he is kind of creepy. Now, these are some things that were straight out lies. And I'm glad they had that break because Tim Walsh jumped on it like a hot potato. Okay, y'all, did y'all know? And I have a question here. Did y'all know that Donald Trump saved the ACA when he was in office? Obamacare? Did y'all know that? Now, that was J.D. Vance's false claim. I was like, dude, you lying right there. And Tim Walsh came out and said, and this was his quote because it was priceless. He said, this is what makes an old man do good things because what I do remember is that he didn't save. He goes, we're talking about the Affordable Care. And then he went to John McCain. He said, no, John McCain saved the Affordable Care, not Donald Trump. Like, come on, get your facts straight. So he tried to do that. Then he said, I was like, J.D. Vance, do you really believe that lie? But a pathological liar, to my understanding, they believe their lies. So he probably does. He said Trump peacefully turned over power on January 20th. What country were you in when you saw that? Because can we get to January the 6th first? Can we talk about the files that are in that had to be confiscated from Mar-a-Lago that were in the bathroom and on the stage? Can we talk about that? Seriously, yeah, Then he said that 80% of solar panels comes from China. No, they come from the United States. So again, these are things that people who have been following this, we know. And I don't know what that debate's going to do for anybody, to be honest. I don't know how many people were really paying attention to it. I know Kim Edmondson wasn't. And then Vance refused to answer if Trump lost the 2020 election. He also refused to answer if he would certify the election. He refused to answer that. Y'all, that's very concerning, very concerning. Kim Edmonds said lies, listen, lies. J.D. Vance continued to criticize the Biden-Harris administration on migrant border crossings and the cost of living. But I love that Governor Walsh pointed to the events of January the 6th. He also challenged Vance to say who won the 2020 election. And then he also talked about, and I love this, he said, no, we had a plan. It was written by a conservative. He said, whom I know very well, a Republican. Everyone was on board, but Donald Trump said, kill the bill because I'm going to run off of it. He goes, and that's exactly what you're doing, what you're trying to do right now. And I said, go Tim Walsh, just go. Latrice Jones, what's up? She said that was a damning non-answer. Listen, that's what Tim Walsh responded to him. He said that's a damning non-answer in his lovable way, but it was like, dude, are you on drugs or something? You're tripping. Robert Holman says you're not supposed to be fact checking. Put me on the floor. When he said that, I was like, dude, you're lying. We already know that you lied because you've been on news shows saying that y'all make up things and so they can pay attention to you all. That's craziness. That is absolutely craziness. Now, for people pouncing on Tim Walsh for the way he communicates, stop. We all have our way of communicating. I'm sure some of y'all listen to me sometimes say, what did she say? Because that's just who I am. And we can try to fine tune things. And yes, we want to be intelligent. We want to be articulate. But the way our personality comes out in the way of our communication and the way they talk about, well, he stumbled. Well, Donald Trump stumbles all the time. Like, the media is playing something here that I'm really praying that they stop. Because last night, even with the moderators, I said, this is a repeat of the Trump-Harris debate where they just let Donald Trump just keep on talking. They allowed J.D. Vance to keep on talking. And it's lopsided. So when Walsh did have a time, because of who he is, he was trying to stay within the 2 minutes or the 60 seconds. And I was watching him. And that we learned that in speaking. I was like, he is so mannerable that and respectful that he wants to respect the 2 minutes. He wants to respect the 60 seconds. So he was then rushing trying to get out what he was trying to say, and he was stumbling. Y'all, he has not hung out with school shooters. He's not friends with school shooters. No, that's not what he was saying. He was talking about with his rifle in his truck. After football coaching, he would go hunting. And he was talking about he was hanging out with shooters, not friends of school shootings. But the way he was talking, it came out that way. And then when he goes to try to correct himself, of course, Nora O'Donnell said, Governor, your time is up. And he stopped talking because I want to respect the time. So that alone should tell you what kind of person he is. That he is respectful of people and lovable. There's a complete difference there. So the media not drilling Trump or not drilling J.D. Vance is ridiculous. J.D. Vance, and I was hoping Springfield, Ohio didn't come up. The cats and dogs piece didn't. But J.D. Vance doubled down on that rising prices of houses are because of illegal immigrants. And then I'm glad Tim Walz came in and said, they are legal. And then he tried to give some rule. And Tim was like, I know the rule. We do that in Minnesota. Then he tried to say something that was in a Minnesota bill that Tim Walz signed. And he said, no, that's a lie. He said, that's a lie. And then J.D. Vance kept trying to spin that. And Tim Walz said, that is I read the bill, I signed the bill, that's a lie. And by the way, it is a lie. What he was talking about women and abortion, that is a lie. That what J.D. Vance is sharing. And at some point, y'all, and I know it's not going to make a difference of how people vote at this point, but be mindful of what's being said. So I would love to hear some more feedback from you all. Latrice Jones, I saw your text message and bust out laughing. I'm sitting there like, what am I watching? Like, he believes his lies. He's a pathological liar, period. So let me go on and a few more things to fact check here. If I can get it open. Because there were some things that jumped out that I just want to share. Again, I know you probably made up your mind. J.D. Vance mentioned that Iran launched an attack, has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets. And he said, thanks to Kamala Harris administration. Let's just stop. All educators out there, Latrice Jones, the work that you do at Columbus City Schools, can we please go back to civic engagement, civics classes, something in the high school, but put it 8th grade, junior high school, middle school, whatever you want to call it. The vice president has certain powers, but they lead under the direction of the commander-in-chief. That's Civics 101. Okay? And the way he kept saying the Harris administration, it is not the Harris administration. It sounds good and it's getting ready to be, but right now it's not. So even that spin on things that he was saying, can we cut that out? Can we go back to some basics in high school and middle school about that? Because clearly people don't understand this. Even when they were interviewing people on the streets or whatever, and they kept saying, well, the Harris administration, she's not doing this and she's doing this and she's doing what she's told to do. Just like everybody who has a job, they're doing or supposed to be doing what their manager, supervisor, so forth is telling them to do. Yeah, we need civics in 5th grade. I agree with that too. Listen, all the commercials saying the same thing. Listen, it's like, come on, stop. So to fact check that, the Biden administration agreed last year to unfreeze $6 billion in Iranian assets as part of a deal to free 5 U.S. citizens being held by Iran. Yeah, we want these lives back. We want these individuals back. That was a negotiation that they made. But administration officials say not $1 of that has yet been given to Iran. It was part of a deal negotiated by the Obama administration before Biden and Harris took office that could have allowed Iran to access frozen assets in exchange for accepting limits on its nuclear program. So even fact check that, okay? The other thing that came across, this one drove me crazy. They're saying that Walsh lied. I don't agree. And everything that I read says he didn't. But hey, I'm not a fact checker in that way. With all these hands-on people, I check facts, but I don't see the same thing they say. So Walsh said they were charging $800 before this law went into effect. They were talking about medication. Now, they're saying that Walsh overstated. These are the collective nonpartisan fact checkers are saying that Walsh overstated how much Americans were paying for insulin before the new law capped price at $35 per month. A December 2022 study found that people who were on Medicare or enrolled in a private insurance paid $452 yearly on average. There are some places, and people are now on in some of these comments saying, "Oh no, I paid $900 for insulin." Do you remember? And I cannot think of her name right off the bat. The woman who ended up going to jail because she was overcharging people for insulin pens and EpiPens. Y'all remember her? Because she was charging $1,000 for that. So he did not misspeak on that. So I'm really kind of torn with that one because they're saying he overstated how much. I don't know if I agree with that. Let me see what some of you are saying. Jackie says, take them to school, Gail. The VP doesn't have that kind of power. Look, that's driving me crazy. It's like, that's civic 101. Mike Nicholson, good morning to you. When they fact-checked Vance about migrants being legal in Springfield, he responded with, I thought the rules were no fact-checking. Yep, we covered that. Yes, that's absolutely, it's like, that tells us that you're lying. Adrian says, Vance was trying to ride the same tired lies because he couldn't speak the truth of their policies of Project 2025. And let's get to Project 2025. Oh, please, let me go there. Let me go there. Yeah, it's crazy. So Project 2025, they're trying to say, and these again are nonpartisan fact checkers. They're saying that Walsh said their Project 2025 is going to have a registry of pregnancies. They're saying that that's not true. These were the fact checkers. Now on page 155 of the plan, because I read this thing, okay? I read this thing. This is what Project 2025 proposes, and you tell me if I'm crazy, okay? Project 2025 proposes that the Department of Health and Human Services requires all states to report detailed information about abortions that are performed within their borders, including the total number of abortions, the age and state of residence of the mother, and the gestation age of the fetus, the reason for the abortion, and the method used to perform the abortion. It suggests that this data be separated into categories such as spontaneous miscarriages, intentional abortions, stillbirths, and other medical treatments that result in the death of a fetus, like chemotherapy. Well, ain't that a registry? I just think we don't have the right definition of the word, because they're saying that that is false, and I'm not defending Tim Walsh. I'm telling y'all what I read in Project 2025. Isn't that a registry? Aren't you keeping a registry, a data system of this information? Now, these are the kind of questions we should be asking at town hall meetings. We can't just let that slide. It is a registry. That's my definition. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong here. Mike Nicholson says, I was done. Shirley Nicholson says, nor did he answer the question O'Donnell asked him about separating children from their parents. No, he didn't. Mary Jackson says, that sounds like a registry to me. Dr. Antoinette says, that sounds like a registry to me. That's a registry. I think we just need to define the word registry. So I don't think Tim Walsh lied there. And then some of you are already saying this. I'm going to go into the workshop where it says we've got 20 to 25 million. Vance said we have 20 to 25 million illegal aliens who are here in the country. No, it's about 10 million. Okay, so it's not 20, 25 million. It's about 10 million. But yes, there needs to be a immigration plan for the border. Yeah, Kim Emerson, sounds like a registry to me. Um, so that's in a nutshell, but I do want to get to this part, go to the Wednesday workshop. Um, Dan says, remember he said that on January 6th, the protesters ought to protest peacefully. That's not what he said. Okay. And I did go look up all the transcripts for this, so I'm not just siding because of one party over the other. He did tell the crowd gathered near the White House, I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. But if you keep on going, he says, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Okay? So you can't say the one piece without saying the other piece. So I just wanted to bring that out there. And again, J.D. Vance did not say that there will be that he supports a peaceful transfer of power. All right, y'all. Those in Atlanta, that's my recap for the debate. I actually like recapping that one way more than what I would have done with the Trump-Harris, because that just played for itself. Atlanta, there's still concerns. They're still calling some people to shelter in place east of Atlanta as the massive smoke lingers from Sunday's factory fire. It's about 25 miles southeast of downtown Atlanta, which is Conyers. So there you have it. Wear your mask if you have to go out. I know y'all still got some. Wear your mask, but they're really concerned about the chemicals that were in that fire. Latrice Jones says, come on, Gail, love to recap. Look, y'all know I love what I do. I love what I do. I can't leave y'all. I love what I do. I just love what I do. Now, y'all, I have intentionally stayed away from this news headline due to the fact that I am absolutely sickened by Sean Diddy Combs. However, yesterday I decided I cannot remain silent here on News in Motion. Now, Sean Diddy Combs is expected to face new allegations and lawsuits from 120 men and women, according to attorney Tony Bugsby. He's an attorney based out of Houston, and this is CNN reporting. 25 people say they were minors at the time. Y'all, we're talking the youngest victim being 9 years old, 14, and 15. The allegations will include violent sexual assault or rape, false imprisonment, and dissemination of video recordings and sexual abuse of minors. They believe to have happened at various parties and auditions across Los Angeles, New York, and Miami. I'm just really sickened by it all. And when regardless of the age, but something about this 9-year-old, 14 and 15-year-olds really just gut punched me. I want to plead with everyone. Know where your children are. Know where your nieces and nephews are. Know where your cousins are, your sisters and them, your aunties, your uncles, whoever, your friends, your neighbors. It's not back in the day. Even back in the day, we probably should not have been doing some of those sleepovers and things we were doing because we didn't know the parents. We never know who we're dealing with. I'm not saying isolate and not be community. I'm not saying that. But know who you're dealing with and why. We need to really, I'm glad Instagram is doing something now with parental control on Instagram. But there's more things that we do have to do as a community. Let's stop trying to be the biggest and the baddest and the best and the this and that, because people strive for that. They strive to have an identity through other people. And I'm suggesting that we begin to build up people individually. And if y'all want that to be the inspirational message, you can. We need to begin to build up people individually and let them know how great they are, how brilliant they are, how beautiful they are, regardless of age, sex, body size, socioeconomic status, language, education. Y'all, let's build up people. We are all beautiful and amazing and brilliant in God's sight. If we start instilling in our young people at a very young age, at birth, start speaking life to our children, that will change. They won't be drawn to trying to have this, that, or the other. or the best or the brightest. I tell you all the time, half of these people on social media in a G-Wagon, the G-Wagon is not theirs, okay? They rented it, they test drove it, whatever, took pictures, took it back, or maybe they were paid to act like they were in this G-Wagon. Everybody's not rolling in a G-Wagon, y'all. Nor do you want to be, okay? Nice car, boxy, whatever, but everybody doesn't have a G-Wagon. Okay, so y'all, let's start building our children up from a young age so they won't find themselves in these compromising positions because they want something. And watch who your children are hanging out with. Are they crazy? Find out. If you have that gut feeling, your gut feelings are real. If you have that gut feeling about somebody, follow that gut feeling. I don't care. I remember my daughter one time said to me, "Mom, you're just overly paranoid." I'll be overly paranoid all I want. A year later, I went back to her. I was overly paranoid, huh? She goes, "Okay, Mom, okay. So you were right about that." And I was right about a whole lot of them. Y'all, USA Today reports breast cancer rates in women increased 1% annually over the past decade. With the steepest increase in women under 50, overall deaths have decreased by 44% since 1989. Y'all, CNN launches digital paywall charging $3.99 per month for unlimited access to web articles. So many people are doing that now because of AI. So they're creating a paywall so that you can't get in and you can't mess with the stuff, and the stuff has been fact checked. Here, our stuff is still free on News in Motion, and we want to continue to do that as much as we can. But when AI starts coming in, we got to really pay attention to what's happening. All right, y'all, let's get to what we are saying we're here for. I'm trying to find my slides. They kind of like disappeared. Oh, here they are. Let me go here. It's go time. It's go time. It's go time. Here's our Wednesday workshop. How to get involved this election in its final stretch. How do we get involved? So copyright. Don't let me see this floating around because my attorney will come for you. We will put this slide, the presentation, in the Friday rundown for you to have just to use to recap. So why volunteer in a political campaign? There are 3 reasons. Maximize voter reach, directly engage with voters to influence election outcomes. When I say that, the influence part of it is to engage in voters because you're really influencing voters. You're getting them to understand your perspective and your thoughts of the policies and the platform. Be a community champion. Represent the campaign within your local community. Right now, I'm writing postcards. I was at the campaign office on Monday, just doing things, volunteering, whatever that looks like. Build a talent pipeline. Open doors to future political and civic engagement. If there's something that you're interested in, volunteering for a political campaign can help that cause for you. Benefits of volunteering. Number 1, political networking. Build connections that may lead to future employment. People get employed from volunteer positions, whether it's a campaign or not, all the time. So that's a way to get in the door. That's a way of building a relationship, building community. Campaign insight. Learn how political campaigns are organized and managed. Y'all, when you get into the thick of a campaign, everything changes. I shared with you all yesterday with the postcards. If you decide to fill some out, I have the postcards for Democrat candidates Walsh and Harris and Sherrod Brown. But when you get into that, it's no secret. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. Okay, no way, no how. That ain't happening. But when you get into it, you see how they move the money. You'll see where they will say, okay, this money now needs to go over to this campaign because it's a close-knit, tight campaign. You're looking at how many dollars are being spent. You understand budgeting. You understand organization. You understand management. You understand the needs. There's so much you learn when you work on a political campaign. Skill development, boost interpersonal skills. Listen, you go into some of these campaign offices, there's parties going up in there, good parties, not the Diddy parties. Interpersonal skills, confidence, and public speaking, because you're constantly talking with people. You're writing. When I was at the campaign office on Monday, I was like, y'all, this is so too long for this postcard. And so on the whiteboard, they liked what I said, and they changed it. I said, yeah, that's better. They're like, how'd you do that? Well, I'm a writer, number one. And I said, but that's what happens. You get a chance to look at it. So already they're like, can you look at this and write this for me? Can you change this? I got like 3 emails yesterday. Yep, sure can. I can help you. Who knows where that may lead? And if nothing, I had no problem. I was just volunteering. Volunteer engagement data. Review past engagement. When you're volunteering, review past engagement. See what's happening. See the connection. Understand the community demographics. What are the community demographics? I was in Fairfield County. You look like me. You may not want to be in Fairfield County. But they were so pleasant and wonderful. I need to pause for station identification. They some serious workers. Do you hear me? I was like, it's amazing how these group of volunteers come together because they have a goal. We need to see Harrison Walls in the White House, period. And they're not going to stop. As long as things are legal and they're doing things, they're working. They're working. I think about some things that we do. People look like me. I'm like, we may work for an hour. We're like, okay, we're out. They work from sun up to sundown. And then I was sending a text message to Davia telling her that I was out there and we were just talking about some different things with candidates and everything. And I made that statement. She said on both sides. And that is true. They work on both sides of the aisle, meaning the people that are behind the Democrats and the people that are behind the Republicans, they are working. Okay, they are working. They are your regular volunteers, which leads me to raise this question. When they're unable to do it or they pass away, who's filling in? Even in writing the postcards, and I mean, my hands are cramped, but I'm getting these postcards out. Even in writing the postcards, I'm thinking, who's going to write these in 10 years? Are we going to just do it AI? Is everything going to be done a text message? There are people who still want to get that postcard. They still want to get that letter. There's also people who are writing letters. So already I'm thinking, what's the future going to hold for volunteers when it comes to political campaigns? What is that going to look like? How is that going to change? How will the demographics change? So understand the community demographics, examine past volunteer data. That's information that's out there. Before you just sign up, y'all check and see what it is that you're doing. Now, how to engage in the 2024 election cycle. Y'all, we have 34 days to go. Join the Get Out and Vote campaigns. That's GOTV. There are many of them out there. Again, do your due diligence, do your research behind them. Volunteer your time or donate money to political campaigns. Decide what you can do. We talked about signing up using your email. Go ahead and get you a junk email like a Yahoo or Gmail that you send all of that to, because trust me, they're going to email the hell out of you, okay? Register yourself and others to vote. If you are not a registered voter, I am begging you to register to vote. Deadlines are coming up. They're coming up as soon as this week. They're coming up for some states. So register yourself and others to vote. Donate to political organizations and campaigns. So not just the campaigns, also the organizations who are out there doing voter education and so forth. Listen, and I'm not making a plea for myself. Don't hear that. But I'm using myself as an example. The work that I do, the driving, the printing off stuff. I mean, I'm just going to Staples or to Office Depot, doing whatever I need to help with the cause. That's a donation that I'm giving. But there are people who go even further. Latrice Jones, I don't know if Kenny Stanley's on here or not, Fred Jones. I've done civic engagement classes at libraries free, but I'm not going to just give y'all some half stuff. Even today, this isn't half stuff. This is stuff I designed and put out there. So the work, there are many, 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 many people that are doing that even now. Sow into them. Say, hey, let me buy your coffee today. Let me buy your lunch, your breakfast today. Let me just send you something to say thank you. Can you put this on your bill can you pay down your bill at Office Depot or Staples, Office Max, whatever, Kinko's, FedEx, whatever, because we're constantly shipping things. Y'all, there's so much to that campaign budget. You would be surprised. So So give. What to expect as a campaign volunteer. So let me break these down real quick, and I promise you that we will be out of here. Canvassing, knock on doors to build support. We realize today many people are not doing that. They're not doing that. Many people, many houses now have no soliciting signs. And if you see those signs and you are canvassing, please be respectful to those signs. But that's still a thing. Knocking on doors to support, to build support. Phone banking. Yes, people still want that call. You have different generations, and you have to find a way to hit each generational group. So call voters to persuade or ask for donations. Y'all listen, that's happening. That's happening. My phone rings off the hook. I used to do that back in the day, but I don't do that anymore. I stick more to sending out text messages, which that's another one. I don't have that one up there. Postcard writing, what I've been talking about, send reminders to potential voters. Fundraising, host events to raise campaign funds. Social media support and organize online. Voter registration, register voters in targeted areas. You can do all of that just by checking. And I think I may have one more. Time commitment, flexible hours, commit as much or as little time as possible. An hour makes a big deal. It does. An hour. Say, I have an hour. I can make some phone calls. I have an hour. I'm going to do some social media posts. I have an hour. I'm going to send some text messages. Whatever that is for you, volunteer, and follow their rules, y'all. Follow the office rules, because they're wanting to be able to have that volunteer engagement data. They have to know what you've done and how many people you reach. So you get the forms and everything, and a lot of the forms now are electronic. A lot of them you do have to print out, like the labels for the postcards. Print them out. You got to buy stamps, whatever that looks like. Impact, even a few hours a week can make a difference in a campaign success. Y'all, even the local campaigns, don't forget people who are running at local levels, they need a lot of help. The problem, I shouldn't say problem, the challenge when the presidential campaign, the presidential election falls on the cycle where you have a lot of the local elections as well. The local elections seem to not get the money that they need from the campaign parties, because they're putting all the money into the top tickets. So be mindful of that. They need some volunteer hours. They need some stamps. They need some canvassers. They need some phone bankers. So don't forget about your local people as well. Steps to become a campaign volunteer. Number one, y'all, do your research. Know election dates and candidate platforms. Know that information. Ask yourself, do I align with this? If you do not align with it, don't do it. Don't do it. Number two, match your skills. Contribute based on your skills and interests. For example, I'm not knocking on doors. I used to do that back in the day. I'm not knocking on doors anymore. Not today. I'm not doing that. For whatever reason, I'm not comfortable, and it's okay that I'm not comfortable doing that. So what do you want to do? So I tell them all the time, want me to write you some content? I can write some content. Want me to fill out postcards? I can fill out postcards. Want me to do some marketing stuff for you? I can do some marketing stuff for you. Know what you're able to do and do that. Again, it goes back to this could lead to a job or a contract for you. Number three, time commitment. Determine your availability for volunteer work. And y'all, please, don't commit to something if you're not willing to see it through. Then take action. Contact the campaign, express your interest, and register online for opportunities. Just go to their websites, and there are plenty of them out there. Stay engaged. Sign up for updates and ongoing volunteer opportunities, because even after the election, there's still work to be done. I know I'm flying through all of this. Oh, and y'all can always hire me. And that information is there. Again, this will be in the Friday Rundown. If you do not subscribe to the Friday Rundown, you can go to gaildudley.com and subscribe to the newsletter. Just hit the subscription button, and it's free, and you will be a part of that, and this information will go on there. I will also, on the Friday Rundown, have the breast cancer statistics. I'm going to put that in there. And there's a couple other goodies that are going into the Friday Rundown as well. Gosh, I ran through that really quickly. Shirley Nicholson says, Sunbury is Trump country, but the signs are beginning to go up with Harris and Watts, especially on the farms and all along 605 traveling to New Albany. Harris and Brown signs lined up on people's lawns. Thank you for sharing that. And you can get your signs regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. Just contact your party's office and let them know you want signs. And again, don't forget all the other people as well. Make sure you're getting all that information. Y'all, it was a great morning. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. The inspirational message, which I kind of gave you a different one earlier, but I'm going to say this. Stop seeking opportunities. Yeah, I did say that. Opportunities will find you as you seek God. Opportunities will find you as you seek God. One thing that we can get ourselves into, and I've been there, that's why I'm sharing this inspirational message today, is that we keep seeking, we keep looking, we keep knocking on doors. And God's like, will you just stop? If you just seek me, not me as in Gail, God is saying, if you just seek me, opportunities are going to find you because I'm going to open up the doors for you. So many people out here are exhausted looking for work. They're exhausted looking for contracts. They're exhausted trying to get a hookup or connection. They're exhausted. Breathe. Seriously, breathe. I've been there, y'all. I'm not telling y'all something I heard. I'm telling you something where I've been. Where it's like, well, God, why can't I get this opportunity? Well, God, why can't this? Well, God, do you love me? I'm telling y'all, I've been there, done that with a bag of chips. I'm telling you. But at one point, God said, I'm going to just let you tire out. And once you get tired, you will realize that all you need is me. Everything will come to you as you seek me. That's what God is saying. Y'all remember 2023, August, when I took my break. I found freedom like I never found freedom before because I stopped being so exhausted with searching for things. This year, I don't have a word for it yet, but this year is like, okay, let's go. Let things fall where they fall. All I know is that I trust God, period. So whatever he says, and I may not like the way he's taking me, I may not like the journey, but I'm so confident in the Lord. Okay. That's what's happening. All right, Jesus, that's what we do. That's where we're headed. Okay, whatever you say. You ain't like that? All right, Lord, let me fix it. That's where I'm at. So even with this election, okay. All right, JD Vance, say what you want to say. All right, Trump, say what you want to say. Madam President, I can't wait to see you on January the 20th, period. That's just how confident I am. And that's not overly confident. That's not boastful. It's that I believe God. And I know this is a representation of him. I know good and well. He's not going to let, the Bible talks about liars. I mean, straight up talks about liars. And they've been lying, okay? They've been lying. No, there's not one great politician out there. Not one. Not one. There's not one. And it's not picking the best of two evils. It's what are your morals and values? And what do you see? And how do you get there? Shirley Nicholson says Proverbs 18:16, which says a man's gift makes room for him and her. You're absolutely correct. And that is in the word. All right, y'all. Hopefully you got a lot out of the workshop today. Hopefully you enjoyed the recap that I shared today. I'm going to go pick some apples. It's that apple picking time, and me and my friend always do it together. So today is the day that we're going to go get some apples. I forgot which. I think it's the sugar crisp that we love, or honey crisp. I think it's sugar crisp. And I'm going to go get some apples. It's a beautiful fall day in Columbus, Ohio. It's a great day to go pick some apples. So I'm out of here. Tomorrow we will have the town hall, and it's me. Y'all have me all week by myself. Town Hall Thursday is happening tomorrow. Y'all know the rules. The moment you stop asking questions, the Town Hall segment is over. So come with questions. Anything election, come with questions. Come with questions. All right, y'all, invite some friends to join us as well on my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Gail Dudley. Just come hang out with us. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. We're out.
illusion motion.